Hello everyone, my name is Dolly Molly Nanika, and today I did a build of a Sims 4 bar. I was going to do this on stream, but because I was sick, I decided instead to just do a video of it. And quite frankly, I feel like I might revisit this on a live stream at some point, just because I'm not that happy with how it turned out. I decided to go for Cosmolux decor in a rounded area, and I've never used Cosmolux before, and I was determined to just use Cosmolux, and I have a feeling that that's where I made a mistake, since I never used Cosmolux. But I was trying to go for this sort of futuristic, I guess, this sort of vibe. I don't think I communicated it very well. But, you know, you do what you can. Maybe it's not exactly what I could do, though. I probably should have, after I realized that I had no idea what I was doing, and I didn't even know if it would turn out looking okay, I probably should have gone back to the drawing board and started it over. But I wanted to be a little bit more experimental this time. I wanted to try out different building methods and a type of building that I very rarely even mess with, let alone utilize. Whenever I make like a public toilet sort of area, I do half walls instead of stalls, mainly just because the stalls normally don't end up fitting in the public toilets. So I use half walls to make, well, my own stalls. It gives me more color options for the rooms anyway, even if they'll end up just being the exact same as the actual bathroom. I feel like if I had just placed the starburst lights, it would have looked a lot better. So when we go back to this, I'm definitely just going to use those starburst lights. And this time I won't limit myself to just the Cosmolux items. I will absolutely not use rounded walls this time, though. Those are a nightmare. And then you can see the outside. I used a brick that was allowed within the two different styles that I was using. I don't remember which they were. There were no toilets for either style though, so I went ahead and just grabbed a different random one. I was going to try and put a bowling alley in, but didn't fit, so... dartboards. And then I remembered that I had the event ones, and I put in the event ones instead. I do still want to keep, like, the bubble machine, I think it's called. I still want to keep the bubble machine in. I'll probably change the layout of the whole place around, but I wanted to keep the bubble machine, most definitely. Since the bathrooms are unisex anyway, I'll also probably get rid of that wall that's dividing them and just turn the one in between into a half wall. This is where the rounded walls come back with a vengeance, because I started trying to figure out how to get rid of that grass right there. Instead of making another room on the outside of this area and then removing the walls to force the floor to fill in, I just decided to use plants instead. I still like the idea of using plants, so what will probably end up happening is I'll end up changing what the bar is entirely later and go for a more garden-themed bar. of, which I think would be pretty cute. It would definitely give me a lot more in the way of colors. I really like the shrubbery that I'm using as well. I'll go back in a little bit later point of this video and use some bigger flower patches sized down. But these plants, I love those little flowers. I love that shrub, and I love the little patch of pink and purple and blue flowers. They're all very pretty. It's also very good at hiding that grassy area that's poking out from underneath the shrubs. So I'm definitely, if I decide to use rounded walls again, I'm definitely going to hide them using these flowers because they're just so pretty. I'm not a big fan of like symmetrical flower gardens though, because I know from my attempts at growing a flower garden that they're seldom ever fully symmetrical. It's better to just play it by the ear, I suppose, and just make the flowers look acceptable by our own standards, even though they can't be symmetrical. And I take that energy into The Sims 4 as well, where I'll just have my flowers be not symmetrical, but instead be very kind of like somebody just sort of scattered a bunch of seeds there and just let them grow. I call that wild growing. And then I also put these two trees right out in the front. And then I proceeded to make a copy of the bottom layer for the roof using a fence. There weren't any fences that actually fit the theme that I was going for, surprisingly. At least not that were actually tagged for it, but the ones that with the windows were definitely really, really good and fit very well. So I think I might try a rounded wall again in the future, but I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it a bar or like any sort of building. Building aside from maybe like a maybe I'll make a house with rounded walls. I don't know yet. We'll see. This is me trying to figure out other ways to clutter it, but I couldn't think of ways to do that. But yeah, I'm decently alright with how it turned out. Oh, I missed a wall. But I'm pleasantly satisfied with how it turned out. So I hope you all enjoyed. My name is Dolly Molly Naika, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!
I can't swim.